Happy Monday, degenerates. Welcome on back to the Die Hard MMA podcast. We are live last Monday of 2024. And you know, I wouldn't be doing anything else but sitting right here and finding a way to bring you some entertainment that is MMA adjacent, MMA related. You know, we're in this dry patch, a couple weeks with no UFC fights. And like I said last week, you guys, I will not abandon you. I'll make sure you've got something to listen to. I'll make sure you've got something to sink your teeth into. Maybe you are the poor sap, like yours truly, who fell victim to the Cincinnati Bengals and have been eliminated from your fantasy football playoffs. So the next 2 weeks don't matter for crap to you. I feel the pain. So we will make sure you guys have some MMA content coming hot off the presses. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. We've got New Year's Eve coming right up as well. So there's more fun right around the corner. We got the chat already popping here. What's going on? SD Cruiser with the big hitting questions right out the gates. Is this the last show on the channel? Yes. I'll make sure to remind everybody at the end of the podcast, this will be the last episode of the Die Hard MMA podcast here on the home of Fight. I will be going solo. I'm going to be starting up my own YouTube channel. Not starting up. It's already up. It's already live, but I haven't touched it for 6 years. I've always had a sponsor. I've always been on somebody else's channel. We're doing it right. We're doing it ourselves. We're going to blow the thing up and see how far I can fly on my own for once. And like I've said before, long overdue. Should have done it a long time ago. We're doing it. This is the last show on this channel. So you guys, if you don't want to miss out on my content, especially once the UFC does get rolling in 2025, you want to be part of the regular live shows, stuff like that, please go give me a follow now. You'll know where to find me. Just search Die Hard MMA Pod on any social media platform, especially here on YouTube. And I'll be making sure to post that link up for everybody and stuff like that, so you can find me pretty easily. We've got my guy Olawan Dream in the chat here. We've got Dixon Cider saying, Clint, you got to do a $10 to $10,000 challenge. You know what? I've tried that once and I failed spectacularly. It was like week 3 that I busted, but I'm in. I am so in. We can definitely try that again this year, Dixon. We can give that a shot. Louis Mack Jr., what is going on? Local man shakes fists up Clont. That's a new one. I'm usually, just so you guys know, my drunk alter ego is Clyde, but I don't get Clont ever. That is a new one. I like it. Grateful Dude, what's going on? Hit Factor MMA, Ryan W, how we doing? Ryan W, this is not the 2025 champions preview. We will have that show for you. I'm going to get with my guy Andrew. We will be doing a futures betting episode of the Die Hard MMA podcast as we do annually. This ain't that. What this is the hot takes show for 2025. And speaking of which, just because we're going to get a little crazy in here today, we're going to talk about some wild shenanigans. I felt like we needed a guest. Usually for these shows, it's just me. We're flying solo. We're hanging out, just you, me, and the chat. But this time, I felt like I needed a little backup, and I've got one of my favorite guests, someone who I think is going to be awesome to talk UFC hot takes with, none other than Brandon Olivas. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
What's going on, Clint? How are you?
Hey, doing good, man. Doing good. Survived the holidays, survived Christmas. I do still have to empty out about 2.5 rooms worth of trash to make space for all the shit my daughter got from aunts, uncles, grandparents over the holidays. So got a battle ahead of me for that. But besides that, feeling good. How are you?
Good, man. That's funny you say that. I know I'm getting older because all I got was socks for Christmas. So I'm officially old now. It's no more young stuff and getting all the fun gadgets for everything.
Yes,
but
sir.
I made it through and we're back.
It's funny because you go through a little bit of an arc as you get older, because the first time you start getting socks, it's that, oh shit, I'm old realization. You feel like garbage. This is boring, worst gift ever. And then you get to my age, and all of a sudden you're like, bro, I've got like 2 pairs of socks with no holes in them. Socks. Fuck
Oh
yes.
yeah, no, hey, I'm already at that stage. I said that's great. You know, it's the principle, but I'll still take it. I'll still take it.
That's what's up. You got to learn to appreciate the small things. Oh man. Okay, so hey, I already teed it up, dude. This all we're doing, we're doing hot takes on this episode. So if you guys have any hot takes in the chat, make sure you throw them in there. We'll hear your voice on the show as well. But we're just kind of looking forward to 2025 and seeing some of maybe the crazy things that we might be able to see coming through. First one for me, man, right out the gates. And I figure we start with like a dull simmer, not the hottest take I've got to start the show. I have already bet Umar Nurmagomedov to end the year as champion, right? So everyone knows where I stand on Umar just being the GOAT, and he's going to take the division, and I love everything about him. I think he's going to only fight twice next year. I think he's going to beat Merab for the title. I think he'll fight Piotr Jan, and that's all we'll see. I think he's only getting 2 fights and he's ending the year as champion, and that's my smoldering take, my hot take to start the show is my first one.
Geez, that was a really good one. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare, so I was going to go based off like what you were throwing. Let's take a look. Let me see. So hot takes. So we'll try to kind of improvise as we go. I think this is a massive changing of the guard here. I was looking at all the UFC rankings, trying to kind of get ready for the show.
Yes.
And I think last year we saw a resurgence of a lot of these older guys. I think this year, most of the younger guys are going to push all the other guys out of the top 15, all the old guys. That. You got I'm just looking at the lightweight or featherweight rankings, and you have like Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar, Giga Chikadze, Dan Ige, Edson Barboza. So I think a lot of these Dana White's Contender Series guys coming up are going to take the spots of those veterans this year.
I like it. And I think, that's a solid one where it's not like the hottest take I've ever seen, but it's pretty good. So I'm going to rate that hot take 4 classy Holly Holm bikini photos out of 6. Okay. That's what we're getting for the first set of hot takes here on the show. All right. 4 out of 6. Oh, my guy Dream in the chat says Connor Nate 3 in 2025. Man, okay. Dream, you've given me the perfect opportunity. I will roll into what is my second kind of disappointing hot take, Brandon. I don't think Conor McGregor's ever fighting again, man. I don't think he's ever stepping foot inside of a UFC octagon ever again. We'll see him box Jake Paul. He'll go the Mayweather route. Well, he'll have a sparring session with some, other social media type of personality. He's never stepping foot in the UFC again. Poor Michael Chandler is going to be out there chasing tails the rest of his career.
I didn't even think that was that hot of a take. I thought that was pretty like normal. Like I don't think he's coming back. Honestly, I don't think John Jones is coming back. I think those are 2 guys that are out for good probably.
You know what? You're right. That was disappointing, and I'm going to rate myself 1 Andrade OnlyFans subscription out of 10. It's for some people, but it's not for me. So it's not the hottest thing I've ever seen, but somebody out there might appreciate it.
that come on, she needs to be higher up the list than that. She should pass the last one.
Like I said, just not for me. Oh man. Right. It's funny you mentioned John Jones though. I actually kind of think he's going to fight Tom. I think the UFC will throw him a big enough bag that we may actually see that fight take place.
Really? So I just saw something on Instagram yesterday. He was just talking about how money keeps falling into his lap. So I think he's in my opinion, he's making a really good case for like, I have all the money. Guys, look, I have so much money. I don't need any more. I'm good. I don't need to fight him. And it's not about that. It's just about the money.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, interesting to be flirting with how much money, it is or isn't. And then you're like, oh, it's not about the money though. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like John's talking out of both sides of his mouth right now, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. I got to find some hot takes here. We got to get to some hot ones.
Do you have one queued up or you want me to go again?
No. You got to go again.
All right. Because I had John actually fights Tom Aspinall on there as one of my ones here. Okay.
Really? Okay. So I went opposite way.
Yeah. We're head to head on that one. No, so you know what? One of my hot takes that I actually put a tweet up about a little bit earlier this morning. It's funny. I just kind of, we're missing MMA so badly right now that I'm just like rolling out of bed thinking of shit. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I think Kayla Harrison's only got 2 more fights, man. You look at what she looks like when she's on the scale, And this weight cut for her, it is killing her. She's like half dead every time she weighs in the UFC. Since they don't have her real division, cutting down to 135 pounds, it's taken everything she's got. So I think she's got one more fight where the UFC is going to try and get her that belt. And mind you guys, she has to make 135 on the dot. There's no half pound. There's no allowance. She's got to get all the way down. And then this is kind of a combo hot take. Amanda Nunes unretires and we get the GOAT fight. And it's best of all time, best woman at this weight class forever. And it's going to be the only fight Kayla will ever cut down to 135 pounds for ever again. Nunes comes out of retirement, they duke it out, and we just get an epic banger for the last fight in this weight class.
Ooh, that was a good one. You got me excited for that one.
Right?
I think I know who would easily win the fight, but man, you got me excited for it.
I want to see it so bad. Because there's been so many fights where it's like, Rousey was just such like a phenomenal figure, but Nunes beat the brakes off of her. Like it wasn't even close. These two might actually be in the same sphere. I want to watch it. I want to see. I want to know. Cyborg never happened.
After Kayla's last fight, and even Kayla's fights in PFL, I'm just like, there's such a big levels difference. I'm worried about. But yeah, you're right.
Hype in the armor in that last fight.
Yeah.
Little bit. You guys ready for this one? I feel like that was a good hot take, Brandon. So I'm going to rate that one Jillian Robertson swimsuit photo out of 1, because that one it doesn't get better than that. That was a good hot take.
I like. Okay, we're good. We're good here. All right, so I got one. Bilal Muhammad beat Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he is going to finish next year as champion as well. That's my hot take. I know everybody loves to hate Bilal, but I think that guy's got crazy fight IQ. He does everything correctly. And even looking at, Shavkat's last fight, I think Bilal beats him, retains the title, and ends the year as champion.
Bro. That's on my list. I have it written down as well. I am right there with you. Let me see. Let me see about this real quick. I'm trying to. Let me see if it'll let me show you. It is right here.
Oh, let's go. Nice.
Got it written down, baby. Bilal Muhammad retains. He defeats Shavkat Rakhmonov. Dude, I'm so with you. I am so with you on that one. I think so. The only thing I'm pissed off about, this is not your normal, like, obviously we do gambling 90% of the time, right? This is more of a fun podcast, bringing it back around to having some financial stake in it here. I really feel like the last Shavkat fight ruined it, because we're not going to get the same number on Bilal as if Shavkat had just diced Ian Gary. Like if he had just whooped his ass, we would be getting like a plus 350 or something ridiculous on Bilal.
Easily.
And now we're going to get like plus 165.
It's so funny. Like, Santino's always said this since the very beginning of Shavkat coming out. He's always said Shavkat can't wrestle. He kind of is just tall and long and kind of pushes guys against the cage, but he can't wrestle that well. And when he does, his transitions are really nice, but offensively, he struggles sometimes. And Bilal is just such a good game planner, and the volume in the last fight, like, I think it's a really, really close fight. And I think Bilal is just such a fight IQ. He's so smart. So yeah, that is a bummer. Getting that one back, they changed a lot for us.
I know. It just, the one grappling situation exposed it all. We're still going to get plus money. But it won't be nearly as good. And that, you know what, Brandon, that was such a good one. We're going to go high honors over here for this one. That is 4 Mackenzie Dern butt selfies out of 4. All right. Hottest take you could possibly have, baby. We are 4 for 4 on Mackenzie Dern over here. Bilal Muhammad defeats Shavkat and ends the year as your UFC champion.
That is something.
Oh, my guy in the chat, Raw Torque, says hot take. Vikings over Lions, and that's what's up. I've been telling everybody, Torque. I've been telling everybody. You know what, though? I will say, it's funny how quickly the narrative spins that the Packers are going to just absolutely wreck my Vikings, and we 2-0 them, we sweep them for the year, and all of a sudden people are like, yeah, but the Packers aren't that good, man. Like, they're like 14-3, man. But all of a sudden they're not that good because we beat them twice. Give my boys their credit. Sam Darnold coming for that, man. That respect, it's due.
I was just thinking of you the other day. I don't keep up with football at all, and I saw the Vikings were good. I'm like, Clint must be going insane. This is like a Christmas present for him. It's amazing.
Oh, my God, dude, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The Vikings have been, we've been in a state of purgatory. Basically, I mean, for longer than I've been a fan, people who have grown up and died watching this team have just hated their lives the entire time. So I'm finally getting to kind of enjoy the fruits of the labor here. We have a good team for once, and this is supposed to be a rebuilding year, man. The fact that we've got a shot at the number 1 seed in the division, we're going to be in the playoffs, potential Super Bowl contenders, and this is supposed to be a rebuilding year. Whew, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Huge.
Feels good, man. Feels good. You know what? So I'm gonna simmer down just a little bit on this one. I'm gonna kind of bounce back to kind of what you were saying at the start, where there's gonna be a bit of a changing of the guard. And I think Derek Lewis retires, man. I think this will be the last year we get Derek Lewis in the UFC, because he's kind of doing that thing where he steps in for a big paycheck. He'll take an easy fight now and again, but he's kind of, pull out my back. Like when he gets a tough matchup, I'm pulling out, back injury. Like I think we're going to get like 2 more Derek Lewis fights and then he's done.
Interesting. I thought that was coming years ago, and then he just keeps sticking around. And obviously, it's heavyweight, so he can stay around forever. But man, all right, I'm going to stick with the champions theme, and this is like against everything that I've ever said and saw. I think Dricus is going to end up beating Hamzat this year.
You think he's going to beat Hamzat?
I think Hamzat's a better fight for him than Strickland, weirdly. So if he gets past Strickland, I think he beats Hamzat. And again, he finishes the year as the champion.
Let's go. Okay, so you know me. I've been Team Dricus all the way. I keep every Dricus fight after you do your show with Santino, I text you and I'm like, bro, get on the Dricus train.
I know you do every time.
Get on the bus.
It's funny. I remember the very first Dricus fight when he fought, what was it, Trevin Giles, the very first fight?
Yeah.
Tino and I were texting back and forth on it because I was like, hey, you should bet on Dricus. So he starts watching the fight. He texts me, that dude sucks, but he's got power. It's a nice knockout. And now he's the champion. That was a crazy turn of events.
Dude, I love it. He's so physical. Like it's a cheat code. Like I don't know what the hell. And he's got skills obviously, but they're weird. They're awkward. Like no one knows where they're coming from. Like I don't know. He makes it work. It's really weird. But I'm glad I've been on the train since he got rolling. And on that note, I honestly chickened out on that one, Brandon, because I'm the DDP guy, and I had typed out Dricus beats Hamzat. And then I was like, oh, like that, especially after what Hamzat just did to Rob. I was like,
God, he did look so freaking good, man.
He looks so strong. He looks so strong. What I did say, though, it's on my list, is that Strickland versus DDP doesn't go the distance. I think when they run this one back, I think Dricus finishes him this time.
Wow, that's a huge one because, I mean, outside of the Pereira fight, right, Sean's, and I guess Usman too, he's been pretty durable, and he's got a good eye for the game, knows how to stay safe. So that's a hot take. That's pretty hot. What are you feeling on that one?
I think we're just going to see the evolution of Dricus. You know what I mean? He got in there. He felt him. He had a little bit of difficulty, but we saw he's got 25 minutes of gas, which nobody thought he had 25 minutes of gas. And I think he's going to make adjustments for Sean Strickland that'll allow him to find shots. And with that power, you just can't stop him. You know what I mean? If he starts finding shots on you, there's a chance you're going to eat a big one and go down.
Yeah, he does club it pretty hard.
Yeah. So I think that one's pretty good. I'm going to rate our Dricus hot takes because they're pretty hot. They're pretty hot. I'm going to rate them 4 blue Brian Ortega eyes out of a potential 8. So there we go. Brian Ortega.
I'm not going to fall for those just like one of my friends.
Yeah, you say that, but if he was in the room with you right now, I mean, come on.
He mugged me up the first time I met him. I just said,
you talk a good game. He mugged you up?
Oh, dude, yeah. This was when Tracy was cutting weight, and I just said, hey, what's up, Tracy? How's your weight cut going? And he goes, what's up, bro? What'd you say to me? Huh? What's up? He was trying to fight me. First time I ever met him.
Checking on her weight cut, and he's not okay?
Yeah. Oh, good.
Doesn't he have like 6 inches on you? Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. Whoa. Not quite.
No, seriously, how tall is he?
I don't think he's that tall. He's like 5'10".
Oh, okay. I don't know. Because you're one of the lower weight classes, so in my brain, I'm like, there's like a significant size difference there, and that's like, damn, bro, like teammate checking on the weight cut, and you're going after a littler guy. Like, come on, Brian.
I know. That's just how he is. He's gangster.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He is. Oh, all right, man. You got another one for me?
Let's see.
Firefighter in the chat asking, is this your last Homo Fight video? Yes, Firefighter MMA. Yes, it is. So heads up, headed to my own channel after this, moving forward.
Ooh, okay, I think this is a good one. I'm just trying to find ones that are, at least somewhat coming up. So keep it on that theme. I think we see Fatima Klein go into the top 5, top 10 this year.
Ooh.
She's unranked now. This will be her first fight at the weight class, but I think we're going to see her fight a lot, fight very often. And I think we see her climb to top 10, top 5.
Does she go as hard as Josh Van is fighting hard and often?
I sure hope so. I know CFFC kept her super busy. So I think she's always game. I think she's always within weight range. Man, she looks so freaking good. And it's funny because she's fighting Dudakova on the first card back. And Dudakova, we thought they wanted to push her. And now she's getting fed to Fatima. So that'll be interesting. But I think we see her top 10.
Dude, isn't it so funny how quickly those things flip? That you're like, she's young, she's hot, she's got the skills. They're absolutely pushing this girl. And then you get one fight and the UFC's like, nah, fuck this bitch. Like they're completely
we saw what you're made of.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. I love that call. Fatima Klein is an awesome prospect. And I'm glad you said that because I was really racking my brain for like young prospects. I ended up with a lot of like kind of more established, like well-known people as some of my things. And I was trying to like think of some of these younger people that we could kind of shout out and talk about. Cause I'm doing the podcast a little bit later on where we talk about futures and betting on who might end up being champion at the end of the year. Like I don't want to double up too much on that. So that's a great shout out on somebody who I think is probably going to have a really strong trajectory in the UFC. And
I'm super interested as far as 2025 goes, who you think, who's going to have a better 2025, Austin Bashi or Christian Rodriguez?
Oh, my God. Oh, Brandon, that fight has me so twisted. Because C-Rod's my guy, right? Like C-Rod absolutely is my guy. And he is the fraud checker. Like if you're not ready or even if you are ready, but like you're just not
still
quite
good.
What they think you are, he'll take your O in a heartbeat. He's a gangster. So I love C-Rod. But Bashi's a guy I've had circled for a long time. He's a guy I've been watching for a long time. He is legit. And the biggest issue for me is this fight is at 145. I think
in fairness, Bashi's a really small 35er. I'm sorry, 45er. He's a big 35er, but a small 45er.
Yeah. I want C-Rod at 35 so bad. You know what I mean? Like
next fight, he'll go back. I
know. But that's my worry is that he takes another like lesson learned L up a weight class and then goes back to 135. Like that's what I'm afraid of. So I know it's not going to be a size difference like his last fight was. So I'm all team C-Rod all the way, but Bashi scares the shit out of me.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. I just have too much respect there on both sides. You know what I mean? I hate when they make my boys fight each other. Let's see here. Dream asking, what about Jasmine Jasudavicius? That's a great question. I was actually kind of picking and poking around looking at her record and where she's going and stuff like that earlier today. She's better than I gave her credit for, man. She really is, but she's 35. I hate how old she is. And her next fight is Mayra Bueno Silva. Like that's a banger of a fight between those two. I don't know what to do with that. And I think, let's see, women's flyweight. What is women's flyweight? I forget.
She's big and she's nasty. That's for sure.
Jazz. Both of them are. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and I think Mayra was dropping a weight class, isn't she?
Interesting. I wonder if that's going to help her or hurt her. Like you got the two schools of thought, right? The bigger weight cut is a little tougher on the cardio, but the running you need to do to make that weight class is a little bit better for the cardio. Mm-hmm. But I think Jazz kind of has the blueprint to beat her. I mean, she's going to play guard off her back and she's going to get taken down. So Jazz is the one to probably do that, a little meaner than Raquel.
Yeah. No, and I agree with you there. Mayra Bueno's got that insta tap type of jiu-jitsu. Like if you want to play with her on the ground, that's dangerous. You're playing with fire. So like,
yeah,
I give the cardio and the wrestling to Jazz, but I don't know that you want to be grappling with Mayra, even if you're on top. So like, yeah. And then the cardio has always been the issue. Does she correct it because she has to, because she's dropping a weight class, or does it drain her even further? And now she's only got, 4 minutes instead of 6. So it's tough, man. And I was super high on Mayra. One of my worst takes from last year was I thought Mayra was going to hold the belt at the end of 2024.
Really? Okay, interesting.
I had a futures bet on her, man. I did. I betrayed my girl Rocky. I really thought that Mayra was going to be able to find that choke on her. And that, couldn't be more wrong, obviously, but she had her shot. So the futures bet I think was okay, but my read on that fight obviously wasn't so hot.
I can't wait to tune into your future show because now I'm interested in this. I've never bet futures before.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. So my guy Andrew from Superbook, so the guy that him and his team write the lines and they put them up. We kind of dissect every single division for the UFC. We'll go through it, line by line and pick out our, who we think is going to be the champion, and then we say, 2 or 3 who do we think are the good bets that you have available on the board. It's a fun show. It's a good one.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, man. Back to some of the hot takes here. Yeah, I think you're gonna have my back on this one.
All right.
I think Peyton Talbot ends top 5. 2025, Peyton Talbot is a top 5 contender.
Okay. All right. That's a pretty hot take. No, that's pretty hot take.
You think it's hot?
Yeah, I'm looking. Hold on. Let me pull this back up. I was looking at the UFC rankings.
Yeah. So we've got Merab with the belt, obviously. He's about to lose it to Umar. But then you've got Sean O'Malley sidelined. Petr Yan probably gets the next title shot. Sandhagen, Figgy, Chito Vera, Cejudo, Song Yadong, Rob Font. He's already fighting a well-established veteran of the sport.
It's breaking my heart, man. It's
breaking
know. My heart.
Poor Ani. But I mean, if he goes out there and smokes Ani Barcelos, they're gonna make him top 15. They'll boot Montel Jackson out of the rankings to make space for him. You
know what's so funny is Montel Jackson, I think, is a really tough fight for Peyton too.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what's weird to me is I feel like the middle of this lineup is easier than the end of the lineup. Like Montel Jackson, Marcus McGee, Kyler, Aldo, those guys are really tough. And then you have that kind of soft spot. Well, Rob Font, Cejudo, even Cheeto a little bit. I don't know. That's a weird rankings to me. And then I don't know where Peyton, where he lies because, I've heard things about his grappling. I've seen it. I don't know how he goes if he fights a guy that's going to grapple him and doesn't get tired. That's a pretty hot take to me.
Okay. All right.
I think he probably cracks top 10.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. We'll settle on the top 10, but since it was a pretty hot take, I'm going to rate myself 8 out of 16 possible Alexa Grasso feet pictures.
Ooh,
8
now you're
8
talking.
out of 16.
Now you are talking.
I knew you'd like that one.
Now, this is like a real question. I forgot to ask about this. Now, you seen him recently? Like the whole different look?
I don't like it.
He doesn't look like the same guy.
He lost some aura, man.
That's what I'm saying. So do you still think like he's going to be top 5 even with all the changes? It's scaring me.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I just think the skill set is there for sure. But yeah, he lost a little personality. He lost a little aura. My tinfoil cap on that one, man. My thought, I think he thinks people are grouping him too closely with Sean O'Malley. They both had the fro thing going on. They've got this, long striker, skinny body build, that kind of thing. I kind of feel like he might have went, I need to distance myself from that comparison. And one of the quick ways to do it is to get rid of the hair that kind of looks like Sean O'Malley.
Grow a beard and shave your head.
Yeah. That man's cut right there, man. Shave the head, grow the beard. Let's go.
It's coming anytime. Me too.
Yes, sir. Oh, man. Let's see. We got any hot takes in the chat? Anybody? Let's see here. MMA Anomaly says, great show so far, boys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let me scroll back up here. SC for All says DDP via spinning head kick, just like Zaleski versus Strickland. Ooh, okay. Calling the exact shot. You love to see it. All right. Let's see here. Paul saying I should have gone with Ariane Lipski. I tried. You know, I've got some more rankings here. And Ariane Lipski just missed the cut on some of these fire rankings here. It Factor MMA says shaving his head is just going to make him worse at fighting. Come on, guys. Hey, come on. There's so many good bald fighters in the UFC we can call back to. Randy Couture.
No, he said isn't gonna make him better.
Isn't. I thought is. Okay.
All right. But I think that what I'm hinting at is something bigger than just shaving his head and his hair has power. What I mean is, like, is he going through something? Is he having some kind of crisis and shaving his head? He's changing gyms. There's like a lot going on, and then it's a complete different look. That's like
you're going full Britney Spears on us.
Yeah.
Now, man, I think I don't know. We'll find out, obviously, but I think some of it is just maybe being in the spotlight. Maybe growing up a little bit. Maybe you never know. He might be one of those guys that goes, you know what, my head kept getting caught in guillotines because my hair was so poofy. Like I just wanted to get it out of the way for training. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I'm all about that, man. I like that.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Okay. I've got another one. Are you ready to go, or do you want me to go again? I got one. Go for it.
All right. My hot take is that Izzy retires this year. I think that he loses to Imavov and he is done with MMA. He has hinted at retirement every single fight that he's lost. I think I don't know what the odds are on that. I imagine it's probably a pretty close line, probably right down the middle. I think Imavov is a little younger, is just a little bit better. Not cardio for sure, but a little bit better just ringsmanship. Like he takes the center of the ring, where Izzy's always back foot, fighting really slim margins. He got cracked that last fight and then choked out. I think Imavov is going to beat him, and then I think Izzy's going to be like, yo, I'm good. I got enough money for a long time, and I'm not climbing back up the ladder. Even this fight's really a step below where he's been fighting all the other fights. So yeah, I think this is it for Izzy.
Wow, that is flaming hot. We're going right back to Jillian Robertson photo shoot. 1 of 1, baby. That is a flaming hot take. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think you're right, man. I think there's only so many times you can climb the ladder. You kind of lose that motivation. One of the big ways I was able to bet against Israel Adesanya was after he beat Alex Pereira. I knew he wasn't defending the belt ever again. Like you can only climb the mountain so many times. And how do you get up emotionally for some dude that you kind of don't care about after you took out your arch rival? Like, I'm with you. Now, he's dropped a couple of pegs. There's a certain point where you've got to buy low on Izzy because, like, he's still Israel Adesanya, but obviously he doesn't have the motivation. The durability's a little bit gone now. People have figured him out a bit. Like, so how far down do we go before we're willing to take a shot on Izzy? And Imavov, that's kind of the line, He's very dangerous.
That's it right there. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good question. And, maybe does he retire on a win? That's the question.
Ooh, no, I don't think so. If he won, I think he's staying in it. He's calling out bigger fights, getting bigger stuff, but if he loses.
So if he loses to Imavov,
yes,
that's what we're saying. All right. I like it. All right. This one I think is pretty good. I like this one. 2025, Paddy Pimblett will get a title shot.
Oh, jeez. That's hot. Here. That's a really hot take. Jesus,
I know.
Mackenzie, bring him out.
So let's see here. Bringing back our Mackenzie Dern. 4 out of 4, baby. All right. 4 Mackenzie Dern booty Instagram selfies out of 4. I think the UFC, as they have been for the last 2-3 years, are just doing everything they can to push Paddy Pimblett as hard as they can. He is currently ranked number 12 or 13. He's ranked 13 in the world. Benoit Saint-Denis fell from grace. Obviously, they're going to push him, but he needs some work. Rafael Fiziev, we're kind of not sure what's going on with him. Renato Moicano, that's the home of fight boy over here. He might get, he's going to get a ranked opponent, so he's booked up already with Dariush. And especially if he beats Dariush, I think that's the fight they'll make, is they'll do Paddy versus Moicano. And Paddy is set to be booked already, I think. There's like a Manchester card coming up, and there's been rumors about Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler, like all kinds of rumors swirling around, but he's getting a top 10 opponent for his next fight. So, man, I kind of feel like they're going to just squish him in there at the end of the year. If he can get 1 or 2 more wins, they'll throw Paddy in there for a title shot just because they can.
Wow, that's a super hot take.
I'm not saying he's winning it.
Hey, I'm just saying Patty is overperformed where I even thought, I bet on Patty almost every fight in some form or fashion. And usually it pays off. He finds these things. But man, he's been fighting really low level. Now you're talking about actual good guys that have actual good fight IQ, that are not going to get tired, that are not 50 years old and broken. That's a hot take, man. Jeez.
That's why I think they're gonna give him somebody who's been run through the gauntlet. You know what I mean? Like we've seen just insane activity from Renato Moicano lately, and luckily it's my last show on the platform, so they don't get pissed at me, right? I bet Benoit Saint-Denis against Moicano, and that's one of those fights where I can't argue with the stoppage because BSD was fucked up, but Moicano emptied the gas tank. Like, if Benoit Saint-Denis' eye had not swollen shut, if the doctor didn't have to step in and wave that off, he would have got him. I have zero questions about the fact that Benoit Saint-Denis would have been fully concussed, but come back around and whoop the ass of Moicano when he was exhausted in round 3 or 4. That would have eventually happened. But the ref stepped in because the amount of damage that he had done, it was too late. He got the stoppage. Congrats. Good for him. Now he's getting a old, I'm not going to say washed, but like a very old Beneil Dariush, who we've seen also kind of have some, struggles. If one of those guys comes out the other side of that thing, and especially a guy like Moicano who wants to fight every other weekend, the UFC, they've already talked shit. They've already had a thing back and forth with him and Patty trying to, make that fight happen on social media. I think they'll book that fight. And especially with the quick turnarounds on Renato, you're saying they'll give him someone who won't gas out. We've seen Renato gas out a number of times. I actually think
that's true.
I think that'll be the fight, and they'll try to scoop all of the hype from Renato, and it'll be Moicano's job to get that win. You know what I mean? It'll be his job to step out there and stop the hype train. And I just wonder if they're keeping Patty on the sidelines, letting him rest up, train up, heal up, whereas Moicano is going through the meat grinder, and then they'll go, okay, here you go. Giving Patty his best opportunity at a guy who, were he healthy, were he 100% and prepared, he wouldn't beat. But because he's been through the meat grinder, there's a chance. And then they go, all right, title shot, Patty, good job.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, you laid out a pretty clear path, and that's pretty convincing.
Got full tinfoil cap on for that one. Oh, man. All right, let's catch up here with the chat. Dirty Reg thinks that Dariush is going to beat Moicano, and I mean, I don't know, man. That's a good fight. I got to actually do my study on that one before I have a real opinion about it. I respect both guys way too much on that one. I think they're both awesome. Paul says Moicano can't afford to lose to Benny. That's what's up. Rot Torque says Kyle Barallo versus Robert Whittaker. Who do you pick? I'm not sold on Kyle, man. I don't know what it is, but I've just never been sold on Kyle. He's not like the other fighting nerds where he like really embraces that god awful power that some of those guys have. He's more of a tactician. And unless Rob's just dust at this point, I kind of think I would take Rob Whittaker in that fight.
That's a really tough one because I thought he looked really, really good against Cannonier, but very mediocre in a lot of other fights. So that would be a tough one. I'd have to study that one too. Yeah. Rob, you like to think is probably the cleaner guy, just the sharper guy all around, and good takedown defense. So it seems like a bad style, but whoever knows, he rises to the occasion.
Kyle's not Hamzatting him. You know what I mean? Like Rob's a guy that falls victim to somebody out physicaling him. Like if you can bully him, then he'll be in trouble. I don't see Kyle doing that. So I kind of lean Rob. I would love that fight though. That'd be a great fight.
Ooh, man, I'm so excited for fights in 2025. I'm ready to get this started. Ready to go crazy. Ready to dive in, see the new matchups for this year.
Tell me about it. Okay. Real quick, because we got some lines up, man. We got some lines up, and there's two real quick that I want to ask you about because they're like burning a hole in my brain staring at these two lines. Chris Curtis versus Roman Hopilov.
Oh my God, that's such a tough style. I would probably say Kopylov. Well, I would probably say Kopylov because Chris Curtis is not going to wrestle, right? He's going to be all boxing and counter shots versus kicks and longer range. Probably Kopylov for me.
Okay.
Are you on the Chris Curtis train there?
People are always trying to wrestle Chris. Hopilov ain't wrestling either. So that's going to be like a striker's delight, boxing versus kicking. Like,
yep.
That's a good fight. I can't wait for that fight. You know what? The number, it's Hopilov minus 265. And as per usual, I'm going, my boy Chris Curtis might be a little disrespected at plus 215. So
I legit thought that was going to be a pick'em line.
Right. That's saying that right there. That's where I'm like, I know it's a tough matchup, but getting over 2-1 on Curtis, I might have to take the shot, man. And then the other one I want to ask you, Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Cesar Almeida.
God, another great fight. Actually had a dream about that fight last night.
Oh,
shit. The only fight, that could stick out to me. I think Caesar is going to win, and not for anything else. Razak is old. They're both old. So that's off. Yeah, that's off the table. It seems for some reason to me that Caesar's like way older than Razak. Razak seems so young all of a sudden because now he's relevant again and he's knocking guys out and he's looking so good. I think that we're going to end up seeing Razak of old. I think he's going to go in there and try to kill Caesar. And Caesar's such a good veteran kickboxer that he ends up just outpointing him and maybe putting him away in the third round.
Okay. And I cannot get the image of Roman Hopilov hurting Cesar Almeida out of my head. Like, when those two fought, I was so balls deep on Cesar Almeida. That was one of the biggest L's I took in 2024. And I took a lot of them, man. I had a bad year. I took a lot of L's last year, or this year, I guess still. But that was one of the ones where I was balls deep. I was like, I love Cesar Almeida here. And as the fight wore on, he did take over. He did fight his way back into that one, but it was too late. And he had already been hurt and dropped like 2-3 times. And I'm like, damn, dude, like if he did find the fountain of youth, if he does come out like Abdul Razak of old, all of a sudden that fight's interesting too. I'm frozen on that one. I love
really good, man. I have never won money on or Cesar Almeida has been my kryptonite. I lost big on him to Budka. I flipped the Budka line, had so much on that he kills Budka. Then his next fight I lost to Kopylov, and then what was his last fight? Ihor, and I bet him inside the distance, and he outpointed him to decisions.
Yep.
Like, I cannot make money on this guy.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. Oh, brutal, man. He's been really tough to get a grip on too, and he's sitting at minus 300 against Razak. So
what is going on with these lines?
I'm telling you, we got some stuff to sink our teeth into.
Oh yeah.
we got some awesome fights, and we've got lines already out that I'm staring at, man, for sure. I can't wait. Raw Torque says New Year's resolution, I'm finally gonna cancel my Verna Jantaroba OnlyFans. Oh God,
download the picture, send it to me first.
Oh man. All right, I've got a couple more hot takes for you guys. Brandon, if you've got one and you're ready to go, like, just chime in, let me know, because I've got a few to fire off here.
Go ahead.
Leon Edwards loses his next fight. Like, I don't even know who it is. Like, I don't even know. He's not even booked yet. Like, they're going to put him on the Manchester card. And I think he's been completely exposed as far as what he's good at and what he's bad at. And unless they make him perfectly, which, don't get me wrong, he's going to be the hometown guy. They're going to look to try to give him a match. I think he loses his next fight. Because realistically, he's still ranked number 1 in the division, right? So he has to fight down. They're not giving him Shavkat. He's fighting Bilal. I doubt they're running back the Usman fight. Usman's not fighting anybody with those knees right now anyway. So then you've got Jack Della.
He's listed to be fighting Jack Della right now.
Oh, did they confirm that?
No, it's the rumor, but I just looked at it on the Tapology right now.
Okay. And see, that's the thing. I think Jack Della whoops his ass. So,
badly, yeah.
If he fights Jack Della or Sean Brady, he's fucked. Sean Brady is taking him down and doing exactly what Bilal did to him, rinse and repeat. And Jack Della will outclass him on the feet and just have more volume than him. Maybe he wins if they give him Buckley.
I don't think that even. Buckley looks so damn good in his last fight.
Maybe.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't think that's that hard of a take. I'm totally with. I mean, it was a good one. It was really solid.
Okay, so it's not that hot of a take. We're gonna go one, count them one, out of fight camp, Patty the Batty out of a potential 5. That's our bad hot take.
Oh man, I got to party with out of camp Patty one time.
Oh yeah,
and Crazy Molly when the UFC was here. I think it was Gaethje and Oliveira, and they went to the after party. And Molly is insane, man. Really fun.
Molly looks so fun. I love Molly.
Oh yeah.
She seems so awesome. All right.
She is the light of the party. They can fill up any space and you can hear them from everywhere. It's crazy.
It's no wonder, man. It's no wonder the UFC loves them so much. They seem really cool. They seem fun. All right. Do you have one for me or should I roll on for another one here?
Geez, I was going to go right on that division. So, yeah, actually, I think Mario. Okay, here's a hot take. I think Mario Batista fights for a #1 contender spot this year. I don't know if he's going to get the title, especially, as you're saying, maybe only a couple fights this year in that bantamweight division. But I think that he is going to crack the top 3 and #1 contender spot.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Just looking at the tops here, we got Cejudo. I already know who he's fighting. I don't know if that's public yet. So those two are out. So you got Cheeto, Figueiredo, Corey Sandhagen, Jan. I think a lot of these guys are going to be inactive. I think he can beat a lot of these guys. I think that he's going to be looking for a title shot this year.
Wow. I'd say that's a pretty hot take. I mean, especially Bautista, everybody hates him. Yeah, getting that split decision over Jose Aldo, everybody hates him. So for him to
did what he got to do to win the fight, man.
He did. He did. You're absolutely right. That is a pretty hot take, man. I like that one. We're gonna give it one reality show contestant out of 3.
Ooh, nice.
Hot take on that one. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Man, I think Johnny Walker gets cut this year.
Yes, that's a good one.
I think Johnny Walker gets the axe in 2025, unfortunately. And he just got Walter there. Yeah, he just got his bro in the UFC, and he's trying to, get his grappling game going to kind of protect that chin. I don't think it's gonna matter, man. He's on a 2-fight skid right now, with the one before that being, a no contest. But I love Johnny. He's been knocked out so many damn times. Like, this guy is going to have CTE like Tito Ortiz by the time this is all said and done. It's going to be so bad. Looking at the, let's see here. The top 15 here for 205. Like, he is, let's see. Oh, geez. I don't think he's even ranked anymore at this point. Yeah, so Johnny's not even in the rankings anymore, which I think makes sense. He's currently booked against Bogdan Guskov. My bald brother over there. I think Bogdan's going to smoke him. And then what? Like, he might have 1 or 2 more fights after that. And that's going to be 3 finish losses with a no contest coming before it. His last win being a bad decision over Anthony Smith, where, Anthony Smith was shouting about him attacking his family during the fight. Like, he doesn't have a good run coming up, man. I feel bad for Johnny, but I think we've hit the end of the road.
Wow, that's a good one. That's how I know that you've had too much time on your hands. You're spending time thinking about Johnny Walker on your break and what's next for Johnny Walker.
I just sit back and I daydream of Johnny. That's what happens, man.
I couldn't agree more on that one, man. That dude's going to be fighting in the Misfits boxing series in 6 months.
Oh, my God.
And still getting knocked out by influencers. I just seen some video the other day, him getting knocked out in sparring.
I saw that. It's like, how do you bring guys in that are going to spar with you and not know to, like, leave your chin alone? Like,
but the thing was, that video wasn't even a hard sparring. It looked like just like a really, like, just regular punch. And then
he's like tapped him.
Yeah.
It's so I think it's a good call, but I'm not sure how hot the take is. So that's going to be 3 Aileen Perez twerking videos out of 10, I think is what that one's going to be. 3 out of 10.
I am way in for that.
Oh, man. Do you have another one for me, or should I go again? I got a few more we can wrap up with.
Okay, I think Ilya goes up to lightweight, and I think he beats Makhachev.
Wow. Okay. So pause. You saw the reaction. I was right there with you. On my list, one of the ones I was just going to mention is I think he pulls the McGregor. He's going to vacate, or at least, he's going to try to go for champ status, and he's going to try to move up a weight class. I said that what's going to happen is we will end up getting the rematch between Diego Lopez and my favorite grappling Russian for the vacant title. Evloev and Lopez for the vacant title is, I think, that was my hot take for it. But you're going all the way and saying he's going to dethrone Islam Makhachev. Oh.
And then be done.
Oh, my Lord. It does not get hotter than that. I mean, we got to bring Mackenzie Dern back. 4 out of 4, Brandon. My God.
What an angel. And if, she's a very nice person too. I got to hang out with her for a few days. She is a very sweet person with a great butt.
I'm sure. Much better without Trocoli in her life these days.
Yes. If you only knew, man. If you only knew.
I mean, I lost money on him, so close enough. I'm there. He's on my shit list. Let's see here. Oh, dude, I don't know how I recover from that one. That was a good one. Okay. I got a good one. Tatiana Suarez takes the belt from Zhang and wins the rematch. She'll be your champion for the end of the year.
Ooh, that's a hot one. That's a really hot one. Man, that is burning hot. I don't think that's happening. So I would say that is one of the hottest ones.
You think it's one of the hottest ones?
Yeah, because she just has a crazy injury history. And man, she got to get past Wei Li first. And I think that, the decisions that she makes in a lot of her fights are not so good. She's getting older now. She's like 33. She's only got 10 fights. I don't know. I think there's a lot wrong there. And I think Wei Li is on a different level. She's getting better all the time, works so hard. She's never going to gas out. I think it's going to be maybe a tough round or two. But, man, I think Rogan really pumped up Tatiana so much, and people love her so much now because of that. I don't think she wins, and I don't think she ends the year as the champion.
She's got Patchy in the corner, man. I think she's gonna get this one here. I like me some Tatiana. So I mean, we're saying pretty hot on that one, right? So you know what? I've got 2.5 out of 3 ex-UFC stars on OnlyFans. 2.5 out of 3 for hotness on that one.
Who's the half? Who's the middle on that?
The one in the middle. I don't know who the fuck that is. So it's Paige Van Zandt and Hannah Goldie, and then some chick pretending to get choked in the middle. I don't know.
All right, nice. Subscribe.
Enjoy that one. There you guys had no idea I was bringing the heat for this show. You guys were like, "Oh, Clint, into your show." No, I came prepared, baby. I came prepared. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? Okay, this one's a little hot too. I think that Dom Reyes returns to top 5 at 205.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think he's still got it. And just looking at the names that are in front of him, I just think it's possible. Top 5, top 10 for sure, but top 5 is where it's a little spicy because I don't think Rakic is going to hang around long. And Jan, as much as I love the guy, is 42 years old. So I think there's room to fill those slots. And out of Olberg, Roundtree, Krylov, Ozdemir, I think Dom beats those guys. I think Dom works his way back up to top 5 by the end of the year.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I could see that. That's what I'm saying. This year feels so weird. Last year, they got rid of USADA. They got rid of all that stuff, and we saw a crazy resurgence on the older fighters. And then this year, I think everyone's going to go away. So you're right. Jan has been out of the mix for so long. Yeah, that he could easily sneak in there. Wow, good call on that one. Really good
Thank
call.
you. See, I'm getting creative over here. I was trying to get creative with some of these. Man, I mean, I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel over here, man. Do you have any others that you popped up with? We can.
I don't think so, man. I just cannot wait, man. I can't wait to get into the year, and I can't wait to look back on this and see how many of the hot takes actually came true, if any at all.
All right.
But man, I'm just really, really excited for the upcoming year. I know you're probably jonesing for your first show already.
I'm so pumped.
But I think in terms of the betting markets, I think that bare knuckle is going to be a huge one this year. I think we're going to start to see the return of maybe some prop bets this year. Now that Connor's influenced on bare knuckle, I think a lot of these regional things, power slap is going to get more attention, more limits, bigger things. I don't know. I think this is going to be.
I can't with the power slap. I'm with you. Give me the props on the bare knuckle. Feed me. I just can't with the power slap. I can't believe it's becoming like semi-legitimate.
I love it. I love it.
I can't. All right. I've got a couple here that I want to rattle off for you guys. Just food for thought. Some of the last little ones that were scraping the bottom of the barrel here for you, and then we'll get you out of here for the night. Like we talked about a couple times with changing of the guard, older fighters, etc. I think Rose Namajunas hangs it up. I think we'll see a Rose retirement fight in 2025. I think Sean O'Malley, similarly to Leon Edwards, takes an L in his next fight when he comes back. Depending on matchmaking, depending on matchmaking. But I think there's a very real chance he comes back and tries to Shark Tank at the top 5 and loses to another one of these guys coming up here. I think there's a shot Macy Barber gets a title fight this year. She's already kind of in that top 8-ish circle. And if she's
number
healthy,
4 right now.
That's what I'm saying. So I say, not super spicy on that one, but I think she could get there. I think we're going to get Jamal Hill versus Pereira too. Like there's so much heat circling around that fight, and Pereira's cleaned out the division. Dana said he's not moving up. So I kind of think that rematch makes some sense. And because of the hype and because everyone hates Jamal so much, they'll be able to get some eyes on it. And the last 2 that I have for you guys, Dumas breaks into the top 15. I think Cedric Dumas is legitimized in 2025. I know.
Oh, my God.
And you ready for this one? Cody Brundage goes 3-0 in 2025 He's gonna have 3
turn
fights,
this thing off, man.
And he's gonna win them all. He's gonna win every single one of them. Hey,
that's the hot take.
He's still on the roster. They're still giving him fights. Any other human being besides Sam Alvey, after what Cody Brundage has gone through, is dead, buried, and shipped off to Octagon like Muhammad Mokaev. Like, they would have him out of there so fast. They've got to see something in Cody to keep him around, man. There's got to be something there.
By the 3rd DQ that he's going to try for, they're going to start to catch on. So I don't know how he can get to 3-0.
Well, they give him a little step down in competition. I mean, he's booked against the Cuban Missile Crisis, I believe, for his next fight.
Who's at the world famous MMA lab? I saw him the other day.
Yeah, and who I think's chin is completely toast at this point.
Very well could be.
I can't wait to bet on Cody Brundage for the first time in 2025 and have people scream at me for it.
Yeah, they're not so happy with you, Clint. You got to make better decisions in 2025.
That is entire. You know what, Brandon? We're going to end with the hottest take of them all. This is going to be a 1 out of 1 Jillian Robertson, the best take we've got. I'm going to have a winning year. I'm going to end positive for 2025 betting wise. That's it.
Let's go. That's a great goal, great aspiration, and I hope that it happens.
Hell yeah. And that'll do it, man. I thank you so much. I know this was like super last minute for you guys listening to the show. I texted Brandon and I was just like, bro, last minute. I know, but I had a great idea for a show. Do you want to jump on with me? So like there was no pre-planning here for my guy. He jumped in, he gave some hot takes and helped me put on a good show. I was at
practice when you text me that. So I had to get off the mats and go check like, all right, let me see what my schedule is.
See the love, man. That's a real bro right there. So thank you so much for coming in here and doing the show with me, man. So the people know, what do you have going on? What can they expect from you coming up? And if you guys have any shows or where can they just find and support your stuff?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to congratulate you for going on your own. That is, you said first time in 6 years, so that's awesome.
Thank you.
As you know, me and Santino, we just do our own thing too, so we're separate from everything else. We've liked it mostly because if we don't want to do a show, then we don't do a show, or if we need to do it on this day, we do it on this day, and no one tells us what to do. So I think you'll love that autonomy, but you're pretty regimented anyway, so not that that'll matter. But man, congratulations. That is huge. I'm super happy for you, and we'll do whatever we can to help support you. As far as me and Santino, you just look up Santino DeFranco on YouTube. That's the YouTube channel. We do a show every week. We have a Patreon. I've been very quiet towards the end of the year on the Patreon. Just personal stuff going on, but I am so excited. Regional stuff, I'm going to be banging on it. Bare Knuckle, BKB, freaking Fury, everything in between. So I'm super excited for that. Yeah, check us out on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Brandan Olivas. My mom has a really weird spelling for my name, Brandan Olivas. And that's all I got.
Love it. I love it. And thank you again for joining the show, man. Means a crap ton. And thank you for the support. That means a lot as well. As you guys know, like I mentioned, last show here on Home of Fight, I want to say thank you for the platform. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm excited about what is coming next for me. So guys, make sure, give me a follow on social media platforms. If you're a YouTube only type of person, I don't want to lose half my viewership. Don't lose out. Give me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, something like that. I just made a Blue Sky account, so like I'm just trying to cover all my bases. So wherever you guys are at, give me a follow. And it is the Die Hard MMA podcast right here on YouTube. That'll be the channel. That'll be where we're doing shows from now on. And I'll get everything else set up. As far as I think I'm gonna do like a I think I'm going to do like a Patreon with obviously like a very low dollar amount. I'm not selling picks or anything like that, but I want to do additional content. And honestly, guys, if you enjoyed this, more shows like this, like I want to put the podcast back in the Die Hard MMA podcast. Like, you know, I'm going to keep obviously being your neighborhood degenerate and keep doing betting and stuff like that. But I would love to do more comedy, fun related style podcasting episodes that are MMA related, so you guys get to stay in the sport that you love, but be entertained a little bit more. So additional content, and the more support I can get, the more I can do. So that's where we're going to be.
Hey, I love that idea, man. If you ever just want to chat too, like so many times I would love to do podcasts that don't have to do with MMA, but it's not the exact same format that we always do. This fight,
absolutely,
this fight, this fight, this fight. So if you ever just want to just talk and put out content, man, let me know. I've seen a little bit of what Dan is doing, best fight picks. He's doing like this week in MMA kind of stuff. I like that stuff. I think it's a cool little difference. So yeah, man, let me know. And maybe we could do some of that on our channel too. I love going live with the people and just having them come in and talk
absolutely.
Shit.
I plan to do a lot more of that in 2025. So for sure, man, thank you for volunteering. I'll definitely hit you up for that. And I got to hit my boys, right? Like I've got all these guys that come on the show for betting stuff, and I'm going to have to try and make some connections for people who do and don't want to be involved in other stuff. And I'm excited. There's a lot coming down the pipe. There's a lot we can do.
I need to talk to the boss. I need to talk to Santino and see if we can bring you on the casting couch.
Oh,
you're local in Arizona. You know, we put you on the casting couch where Tony Kelly has been, and you know.
Oh, if I could just once in my life sit where Tony Kelly has been, I would. That would just make. I would be honored. I would love it so much.
The cologne still smells there. You could still smell it,
dude. I love it. I would love to do that. Let me know. That would be awesome. Sometime. You guys know I'm team fight ready as is, so that would be sweet. Thank you very much. And thank you all so much for the support. Every single one of you out there in the comments section, all you guys hitting the like button for me, all you guys following me all this time, all these 6 years. I appreciate the love and support so much. One last time, you guys, before we sign off for the last show, I will reward you with 4 out of 4. Mackenzie Dern. Thank you very much for all the hot takes, everybody. That'll do it. Love you guys. Be good. Be safe for New Year's. Get a designated driver. Be good. Let's roll.